So, as many of you know, when THCA flower first became a big thing about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I came out kind of staunchly against it. And at that time, I did have some very good and valid reasons for that. And I'm sure if I, went back in time, at that time, I would still be against it when it first came out, just because of the implications of it. Now, as I said, maybe a year and a half, 2 years have gone by, and I don't want to say that I'm completely okay with it, but my stance on THCA flower has definitely changed a little bit. And there's a few reasons why. Now, the first reason being was something that always conflicted me from the beginning, simply because I am a cannabis extremist. That's what I call myself. I'm a cannabis extremist. I believe that everybody and everything around the world can benefit from cannabis of some type, of some form, of some dosage. People of all ages. I believe that there are children who suffer from ailments, terminal diseases, epilepsy, and even more mild things that could be helped with things like CBD and CBG. And those children could benefit from the use of cannabis or medicinal cannabis. And obviously I'm not advocating for people to get their kids high as a recreational or behavioral type of a thing, but a medicinal. Obviously, there are a endless and vast number of medicinal uses for cannabis for everybody else. And for the elderly, I think that although cannabis use in the elderly is becoming a huge new sector in cannabis, it is still something that is widely slept on. So many elderly people suffer from arthritis, memory loss, different pains and aches all over their body. There's just an endless thing that endless things that old people suffer with. That cannabis would help them so much. It would help them so much. It would help them neurologically. It would help them physically. Anyways, pets can benefit from cannabis as well. My point being, I'm a cannabis extremist. That's what I call myself, because there shouldn't be any limits. I think if anybody can benefit from cannabis of some kind, of some chemotype, of some cannabinoid, they should be allowed to use it, and they should be using it. So with that being said, my disdain for THCA flower was never about people using high THC marijuana, because that's what THCA flower is. Keep in mind, in case you don't know, it's just regular weed. Today, people still think that it is something that is sprayed on, or it's some different cannabinoid. There's a lot of ignorance in the cannabis community, and that was also part of the reason I was so against THCA flower, because I knew it would bring out even more ignorance, and that absolutely came true, and even worse than I anticipated. I am probably one of the world's biggest advocates for cannabis use. And if people need to get high for whatever it is, whether it be a mental health issue, a physical health issue, or because they just want to have a good time, they just want to de-stress, whatever it is, there's no invalid reason. I'm not against that. Just because I personally can't use regular weed, I can't pick up some 25%, Runts Cross and smoke it and have a good time, that doesn't mean that I think that other people shouldn't be able to. In fact, I think that everyone should. The world would be a better place if everybody was getting high. Let's just be honest. So from the very beginning, I was conflicted with that issue, because I am very pro-cannabis, and I'm like, at the end of the day, this is just people that found an easy way to buy their weed. And there's nothing wrong with that at the core. The problem was then, and the problem still is today, most THCA flower is sourced on the black market. Most of it is not tested for things like PGRs and pesticides and stuff. Most of it is grown with synthetic salt newts, which, at its core is not maybe necessarily harmful for you, but it's just a cheap, subpar way to get things going. So my problem with THCA was never about the flower. It was about the implications, and it was about the black or gray market industry that it would create. And it absolutely did create. To this day, I am still warning people about, you're buying weed off the internet. You have no idea who grew it. You have no idea when it was grown. And most of it is older. Most of it is stuff that is like overstock or older stuff off of the black market or sold. It's old stock that they couldn't sell at a dispensary or whatever, and they sell it wholesale at a discount to these online websites. So that's something that still needs to be looked out for. The next reason, though, that I have changed my stance on THCA flower is because a lot of people show their true colors with that. And what I mean by that, I don't mean individual people. Well, I guess in some instances, yes. But I mean companies, vendors. One thing that I was worried about with the advent of THCA flower was that it was going to interfere with the CBD industry. And a lot of people said, no, like, look, we want our type 1, you want your type 3, that's not going to clash or anything. And guess what? It absolutely clashed. It absolutely clashed. Nothing we can do about it, but it absolutely did. But in a way, it kind of did us a favor, though. Because all of those companies and those vendors that completely dropped CBD flower, they stopped growing it, or they stopped sourcing it, they stopped selling it in favor of chasing money, they kind of revealed themselves to everybody else. Now again, the fact that those people stopped selling CBD flower and everything is not a good thing. It's not a good thing, but it does show what companies and everything were kind of in it for the money. And I do understand that some of them were having a hard time making sales, and in order to stay open, they had to switch. But I don't think that's the only solution, because the companies that are still selling the bombest in-demand strains, the most high-quality, top-shelf stuff, are still getting plenty of business. The people that couldn't keep up with that weren't getting so much business. They had to switch to what sells better and what sells faster, which is the regular weed, the type 1. Now, morally, I'm not saying that there's anything super wrong with that, and I'm not saying that those people are dead to me, but I do appreciate the people that were truly in it for the passion of the flower and not the money. And the people that are still in it, growing and selling CBD flower, and are not just trying to chase the quickest buck. Now, the third reason that I've changed my stance on THCA flower is because I realized it was really selfish of me to not be a voice of information and knowledge with that, and to try to just brush it off and expect that anybody was just going to not use it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that all of this time, even though I can't personally use it and enjoy it, I still could have been creating some content about it. And like I say in all my videos, they're informational and educational. And I could have been using my platform to inform and educate people about what they're buying and how to make better choices. They're gonna buy it anyway. I understand y'all will buy it anyways. And I say y'all because I know that a lot of you on my channel are THC sensitive like me and just use the CBD flower. But I also know that a lot of you, several thousand of you, have switched to THCA type 1, or you've always smoked regular weed, or you built your tolerance back up with CBD and now you smoke regular weed. Whatever the case may be, I know that if you live in Arkansas or Kentucky or like Minnesota, South, any of these like backwards, Idaho, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, all these states where it's hard and expensive to get weed, and the whole THCA thing has now made it significantly easier for you, even though there is still a risk involved, I know you're gonna get it anyways. So I should have been here helping you get the best quality stuff this whole time. I should have been here helping you get the stuff that is the safest, the stuff that is the strain that it says it is. You know, we could have been building up rapport with companies and just finding the best quality stuff. And I apologize that I was kind of selfish and stubborn and not doing that, because I could have been helping y'all this whole time and I chose not to. So that's my bad for being way too gung-ho about the topic, because like I said, I could have been using my voice, I could have been using my platform to benefit and help you more, okay, instead of just thinking about myself. I'm not gonna start creating content where I'm gonna sit here and smoke weed and get high as fuck and be like, oh yeah, man, this this triangle kush is just the bombest shit and I'm faded. Like, that's not gonna happen. I can't. I physiologically can't do high doses of THC. But what I can do, if I get the opportunity from time to time, is inform and educate you. Because at the end of the day, my subscribers come first. And with this whole THCA issue, my intent was to put my subscribers first, but I went about it in the wrong way, and I ended up not harming my subscribers, but I ended up not giving you information that I could have given you that would have benefited you for the past 1.5 to 2 years. So again, I'm sorry for that, and that's why my stance on THCA has changed. Now, for the last 6-7 months, the way the game has been looking, it seems like THCA won't be a thing for very much longer. However, the Capitol, the government, the White House is kind of in shambles. It seems like the government is falling apart. We as a country seem to have like decapitated ourselves. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I have no idea. So we will just have to see. All right. But just remember, I am a cannabis extremist. And if you use cannabis, I'm so happy that you use cannabis and that you are not using prescription pills. I'm glad that you're not abusing drugs. I'm glad that you're not doing anything that is harmful to you or other people to help yourself. I'm glad that it's cannabis. I'm glad that you're using the natural plant that was put here for that reason. All right. No matter if it's CBD, THC, CBG, CBN, I don't give a damn if you dab 99% THC crystals before you go clock in at AT&T. I'm just glad that you're doing that instead of popping a starting lineup of prescription pills every day and just harming your body. All right. I love y'all. Keep smoking. Stay buzzed. Stay high. Whatever it is that you like to smoke. I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.